Welcome to Between Milestones, presented by us, Simtech. And that's where we go behind the scenes with business leaders who've built something real in addition to the revenue side. So, resilience, relationships, results that matter. And I'm Robert. And today I'm sitting down with my very good friend, Taher. And we have quite the story today. It's I don't know if we'll be able to fit it all into an hour, because Taher, you've got the story. So let's get into it, and I'll ask you a couple questions about. Before we started, you were saying that a lot of times on these podcasts, you like to lean into the things that might have a bit of controversy to them, right?
Yeah.
Should we start out with that?
Sure. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I know your childhood is very unique.
Uh,
Um, your journey is something else. I don't know how you can condense it all down just for a couple minute intro, but do you mind starting out with who are you and where'd you
yeah.
come from?
Yeah. Yeah, man, you've hyped me up a lot, and, hopefully I can deliver because I find myself to be relatively boring, but hopefully I can, share some interesting, stuff with your listeners. So, yeah, people oftentimes see me and they're like when they hear the name Taher Hisham Hamed, they're like, "Oh, you're like, this is gonna be a foreign person," and they see me and it's like pale blue eyes. And they're like, what is going on here? And it's because my dad was born in the West Bank of Palestine. So we're actually Arabic. I'm half Arabic. And he came here, actually after he came here for his master's degree and met my mom. She's Scottish and has highly aggressive genes, apparently. So we're all just
That's
like white. We're just white people with like really Arab names. um, so yeah, that's kind of the background of my name and where I came from. I did live in Palestine for a while. It was crazy back then. It's obviously crazy right now, especially in Gaza. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of background of where I came from. I was born in Lakeland, Florida. Still here today. That's where my business operates, in downtown Lakeland. I actually love the location. It's growing. It's super like hip, and I got a bunch of Gen Z people, so I love being in like the heart of the city. So yeah, that's kind of my
so
getting started. Where I came
what
from.
so once you were born, you guys moved back to Palestine for a bit?
Yeah, we visited there 3 times when I was younger, and one time was for, like, a whole year, and we were planning on moving there and living there. I
Yeah.
actually found out recently. But it was during what's called the Second Intifada, which was, like, a extremely violent time. I think it was, like, 2002, 2003 or something like that, and so because of how crazy it got, my dad made a decision, we gotta move back to the US, and so, it's kinda fate because I love my life, so I'm kinda glad
Yeah.
it happened the way it did. I'm like, "Man,
So
be wild
does your
growing up in
does your
Palestine."
Scottish mother speak Arabic?
No, no, she knows, like, it's funny because I got 3 kids now, 8 months, 3 years, and 6 years, and so, like, my mom's Arabic is all, like, the stuff you say to kids, like "Yallah," which is, like, hurry,
Okay.
and, like, "Habibi,"
Yeah.
which is, like, my love, so it's funny seeing it come back because she used to speak Arabic a lot to us, and
Yeah.
she hadn't used it because we grew up, and now that I have kids, all that's coming back. It's kinda cool to see. So that is, like, the extent of her Arabic is, like, the speaking to little kids, kinda,
Okay,
and the
that's
curse
fun.
words.
So and that's what I was gonna say is those are the words that everybody, learns pretty quick, right?
Yeah, yeah. I still have a couple in my arsenal.
That's great, that's great. Yeah, I'm fluent Spanish.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
I
I did
I
not know
lived
that.
in I lived in the Caribbean for a few years, and,
Cool.
I came back. I served a mission for my church, down in the Dominican Republic, and I came
Nice.
back and I had said a few things that, they just came, all right? I was frustrated and the words came out, and I had a close friend, he looked at me and he's like, "Really? That's how you're using God's gift?" It's like, "Oh,
Dang.
all right."
That's one way to put
Okay,
it.
maybe I should reevaluate the words that I'm saying. Kind of funny,
That's
but
awesome.
so y- you're still in Lakeland,
Yeah.
um, and it's a wonderful life, right?
Yeah.
Um, you've got a beautiful wife, you've
Thank
got
you.
beautiful children.
Thank you.
Um, Now I have bought one of your books, your children's books. How many is it just the one that you've published or?
I've got 3 now on Amazon. I'm working on 2 more right now. So I've got
All
2
right.
Talon's Tales because he's older, and then Torrance Tales because he's next, and I'm working on the 3rd Talon's Tales, 2nd Torrance Tales, and then Truett's Tales is coming up soon. So,
Okay.
it's an extremely expensive hobby is what it is.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So, we'll have to put a link in
Oh, that's
this
cool.
podcast so that people can go find your books.
Yeah, I do it
All right.
around, like, what they're interested in that year. So, like, Talon's first one, he was obsessed with dinosaurs, so he, like, ended up
That's
his toy dinosaurs, he found a meteor and it, like, turned him into real dinosaurs. Chaos ensues. He turns into a giant dinosaur at one point. So, it's just whatever they're kinda into that year,
yeah.
I try and make it around that.
Yeah, I think that's the book I bought.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's one of my
for my
favorites.
kids. That was fun.
Thank
That
you for
was
buying it,
fun.
man.
Yeah. So, tell us about your business journey.
Yeah,
So, where did you start, and
yeah.
how did that go?
Well, we met in a peer group, probably 8 years ago now, 7, 8 years ago now. It's been a long time, and I was at an MSP, as SimTech is, an IT provider. We're helping businesses with their IT, cybersecurity support, making sure they can grow with the right technology. And yeah, I just fell in love with it. I was primarily a marketing role to help get leads for the business, and then the owner got busier as we grew, so I actually started closing the leads too. Love that as well. So I was, like, trying to get the leads, I was then closing the leads, and we were really growing
So, you were doing
pretty fast.
marketing and sales on top of it.
And account management for our largest clients. So that
Oh,
was
that's
those 3 were my roles because I would close a large client, like, they didn't even know who Tom was. So I'm like,
yeah.
"It's gotta be me," you know? Tom was the owner. So yeah, it was pretty hectic, but I loved it. I'm big on, as a human, I just love growth. Like, I love
Mhm.
growing myself personally. I love seeing the business grow. Even when it wasn't my business, I wanted to see that thing checking up every month. It was just like endorphins, it was like
Yeah.
dopamine hits. And when it went down, anxious. I'm like, I gotta turn the gears going. I don't want this thing coming down. And so I think that served me really well. Just a weird
Yeah.
mental illness that I have. No, I'm just kidding. But it was like it has to be going up or I don't feel good, right?
Yeah,
And
I think that's natural, right? For most humans. I
yeah,
don't know that it's true for all humans, but I think for most humans we want to see progression and growth. And when we see, when we stall, I mean, that's the the definition of damnation is a halt to
yeah,
progress, right?
yeah,
And so we feel this heaviness of, oh man, what's wrong? I'm not progressing. But when we do progress, it is
yeah,
that euphoric high of, yeah, we're building something, we're growing, we're doing
totally.
something big here.
Exactly. And so, coming into about 7 years into the journey, we went from, like, me and 3 dudes in a warehouse, literally, it was like a when it rained, we couldn't be on the phone because it would hit, like, a metal roof. Like, we could not be on the phones for any time it rained.
Wow.
And so, like, that's where we started, and then, like, fast forward 6, 7 years, it was like we got a team of, like, 25 humans, we're in this sweet data center, like, making a lot of money, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." And then I had that kinda conversation with Tom where I'm like, "Hey, I really want to kinda buy in, right? I wanna be an equity partner in this. I'm, like,
Yeah.
growing it. I've helped grow it. I'd really like to have a stake in what we're building." And, it's kinda one of those conversations where he's like, "Hey, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna do that." But again, I'm a fast moving, like to
Yeah.
see growth thing, and I'm like, "I feel like I could do this for myself."
Hmm.
But I love Tom, and I love all the opportunities he gave me and everything he taught me, so I was like, "I don't wanna leave, but I know I wanna do something myself, and I feel like I'm competent enough to try and do something myself." So instead of going off on my own, quitting my job and trying to start a business, I kinda did, like, the lowest risk thing possible, and I kinda did that. I think it's called intrapreneurship. I think that's the term for it. I don't know, but I pitched him on an idea. I was like, "Hey, we're building these marketing campaigns for Alltech that's working in our market, but we only serve our market. Why don't we just package this up, put it on a minimal viable product website, and sell it to other IT companies and markets that don't compete with us?" That was the whole idea. I was
Mhm.
like, "I'm already spending all this time on this campaign. The campaign's already here. Why don't I just sell it to other IT providers?"
I've already
And
created it, I've done the work. Let's market it and
exactly.
sell it to others, yeah.
I was like, "It's already." Exactly, I'm like, it's already done, like, the work is just setting up a minimal viable product website, literally, it was just locked pages. When someone paid the monthly, just unlock the pages, that's it, and then it was OneDrive links to
Mhm,
deliver the content, that was version 1. So it cost almost nothing
mhm.
to get going. And he's like, "Sure, let's do it," and I was like, "Cool, 1 caveat, if this works, we're partners on it. This isn't like a new revenue stream for Alltech, like, this is a separate thing that I'm
Yeah.
gonna build while I'm at Alltech, and if it works, we are both owners on this. It's not like I've just built you another thing." And he was like, "Sure." Um, and so then that's when the real grind started, right? Because yeah, idea, it's all exciting. You got the idea, you're really pumped up, but I still had a full-time job. Like I still had to all Tom wasn't like, "Sure, build this thing, screw your current responsibilities." He's like, "No, you're gonna have 100% of your current responsibilities. And then if you want to build this thing and you can pull it off, sure,
That's
whatever."
on your time.
Exactly. And so then it became this like absolute chaos for about a year where I had to hit my 40K MRR annual goal from a sales perspective. Plus, we try and hit 20K in existing client MRR, monthly recurring
Mhm.
revenue. For those listeners that are not in the MRR space, monthly recurring revenue. So we want to hit about $60,000 a year in monthly recurring revenue every year. Like if we want to hit that 20% growth, like those are the numbers we're going to hit. So I was like, I still got to
Yeah.
hit that number. So anyway, yeah, it was just over that year, it turned out it struck a chord
Hey,
with the market.
time out.
Yeah.
Let's just for those listening, and I one thing that I've tried to get away from is like, well, industry average is X. It's like I don't want to be industry average. I want to be something way greater than the industry average, right?
Yeah.
But just for reference, do you know what industry average growth is in the MSP market?
Best in class was about $10,000 in monthly reoccurring revenue every quarter added. So that is kind of what we found. It's like if you can add $10,000 in monthly reoccurring revenue in net new, right?
Right.
New clients,
You're best
$10,000
in
a
class.
quarter. You're best in class because not only are you adding a $500,000 in net new ARR, all those clients need projects, all those clients you can upsell, all those clients are possibilities for referrals, and then you already have your existing client upsell. So that's really where kind of that um,
But
ramp up occurs.
and what's interesting to me is, yes, we do have those anomalous, businesses that can hit those benchmarks, but
Mhm.
the absolute vast majority are growing at what, 5 to 7%?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's doable, it's achievable, but you have to grind, you have to work really hard to achieve that growth because um, convincing somebody, hey, give me more access to all of your data
Yeah.
and your business operations, everything. Give me more access than your HR department, and trust
Yeah.
me, I'm a good guy. I'll do good things for you. That's not an easy sell.
Yes. Totally.
There's a lot that goes into that, and
Yeah.
so to meet those high benchmarks that you were doing, like, that hats off to you for being able to put on multiple different hats, marketing, sales, account management, and still hit those goals. That's impressive.
Thanks, man. I mean, fortunately, in the last 2 years, I got really lucky to have an incredible account manager. So I hired a guy named Colin, and he came in. I had actually hired a previous account manager, and for a year, I beat my head on the wall, thinking I'm a bad. I was like, I'm a bad leader. I'm a bad manager. I'm not communicating well. Like I was really beating myself up.
Yeah,
And like I just don't know if this is right for me to be a leader. That person ended up leaving. I recruited Colin from the tech side because I already
yeah.
saw him. I was like, bro, you're so good with people. I then took the same approach I did with the other person. Colin exceeded. I mean, he succeeded. He he did so well. So it was an eye-opening moment for me where it's like, sometimes it is the person. And maybe it's just my leadership style wasn't good for that person. But I was like, man, as soon as I got that person out and got a new person in, we exploded. So that took a lot off my plate, like dealing with current customers. So I didn't have to do quotes for them. I didn't have to do customer service stuff. That really allowed me to kind of thrive. We also hired a marketing person under me too in the last year. So those two things really helped me to do those different things.
You know, that reminds me, I'm just looking it up real quick. Have you ever heard of the 6 working geniuses? The 6
It
types
sounds
of
super
working
familiar.
geniuses? It's by, Patrick Lencioni.
Yeah, that's right. I've heard about it, but fill me in, please.
So, essentially, it's everybody has a genius, right? And our, uh, our current education system really beats that out of you when you're a kid.
Hmm.
Right? And so everyone is born with some type of genius. However,
Hmm.
we lose it because we're driven through this, the way that we go through our educational system. It doesn't always help us shine where
Yeah.
we should shine, right? And
Yeah.
so this, the working genius, we did it with our team, and we had everybody take it, and it identifies where your genius is. And
Cool.
like your first person, account management obviously wasn't their thing. They didn't shine, they didn't do well. But Colin, it sounds like he killed it,
Yeah.
right? And so it's not that the first person is just not competent or capable at something. It's that wasn't the right fit for them.
Yeah.
And so I love that when you find the person that fits the right spot, they're gonna be incredible,
Yeah.
because that's where their genius lies. And we don't always know, right? We
Yeah.
how many of us have taken a true aptitude test? How many of us have actually gone through and said, okay, yeah, I like these things, but what am I really good at?
Yeah. I think that's gold. And like, there's like the entrepreneur operating system, their whole thing
Yeah.
is similar to that. It's like right fit or right person, wrong seat, right
Yes.
person, right seat is what you want. But there's also like wrong person, right seat, wrong person, wrong seat, right? It's like,
Yeah.
and actually, I had to fire someone recently. Firing people to me is one of the hardest, most gut wrenching, horrible experiences. And I feel
Agreed.
so bad for the person. I'll usually pay them for many months just because I feel so bad. I want to make sure they can find something. Um, but this individual, it was like when I knew I couldn't move them into any other seat, like in the role that they were in, I was like, maybe it's the role. But then I was like, I can't think of another role I'd put this person. That's when it was like, then I have to make that really tough decision. If I'm not even willing to try a different seat for this person, then it's probably time to make a really tough decision. So, but no, I totally agree with you. Like sometimes it is like, hey, if you have a really competent, incredible person, let's try a different seat. I need to do that test. 6 working geniuses?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
The
Okay.
6 types of working geniuses. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna check it out.
So you've been building MSP Camp for, and I'm sorry, I didn't even say the name of your company earlier. MSP Camp, everybody. It's
MSP
great.
Camp.
All right. So MSP Camp started, as a side hustle, really, right?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
So when were you able to transition? Like, did it take Colin stepping up and being able to handle that you felt comfortable hiring somebody else, or what was that transition like?
Man, you just nailed it. That's exactly right. It's probably because 'cause you're a owner, so you know how these things have to go. I was prepping Colin as a salesperson instead of account manager, and then I hired an
Oh,
account manager. So all that was happening this last year. As soon as I
wait,
started seeing
okay,
this was
I'm sorry.
working.
I got to time out.
Yeah.
So Colin became an account manager, killed it, and you're like, okay, now you're going to transition to sales,
Yes. And so the
and
last
we
year.
need to replace you as an account
Exactly.
manager. Okay.
Exactly. So that whole year was part of the plan. I started getting Colin anything under 30 seats, I would give to Colin. I knew there was a higher chance we were gonna lose it as a company than if I were to run it. Like, if I gave it a Colin, there's a
Yeah, your
lower
closing
fif
ratios were higher, but you
that's a
had
great
a
way to
lot
put
more
it. That's what I meant to
experience.
exactly. But I had to teach him. I had to coach him. And obviously, I was already coaching before he went to the meetings, but it was like, this is the best way to know whether he's gonna succeed in the role or not. And then he started closing them. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." So then I hired an account manager, we started training her on the account management. That way I was like, "Okay, I know I'm gonna be out in the next 12 months, so I gotta make sure they're all up to speed."
Yeah.
Um, so we launched actually, it's kind of funny. I just noticed this when we were asking this question. We launched 3 years ago to this day was when we launched MSP Camp. It was October 10th, 2022. Um, but we didn't officially split off as a separate entity because we were a subsidiary then. Splitting off as a separate entity where I was the CEO and managing partner was January 1st, 2024. I still remember, just for this, since this is an entrepreneurial podcast, I still remember the day we launched. We were supposed to launch October 1st. It was right after my 30th birthday, and crazy. So everything's going well. The podcast is starting to pick up steam. We're starting to build an audience before we launch, because that's the whole thing with growing a business. You can't just launch and then try and find your marketing. We started marketing 3 months before, so
Yeah.
we could start building the audience, building the podcast, building the content, and we had a full-fledged minimal viable product. We are supposed to launch October 1st. It was like 14 days before. That's when I noticed, I know you know the story, but that's when I noticed a little thing in my 3-year-old's eye. And
Mhm.
that's when I was like, what the hell is this? We went to the ophthalmologist, and turns out he's got a super rare, uh, very sketchy cancer called retinoblastoma. And it was like all hands on deck trying to figure out what was going on. We had to go to Miami. Long story short, it had progressed to the point where it was about to spread to his brain. So it was just, everything was crazy. So then we ended up making a really tough decision to enucleate his left eye, which is like remove his eye, which is, obviously, like, we know it's going to save his life. We know it's the right decision. We know God has been with us every step of this journey. Like, man, when people tell me, like, why do you believe in God? Why are you Christian? I'm like, I've got a lot of stories in my life where he was right behind. He was on my shoulder. And this is one of them. And I was like, I know this is right, but it's still such a tough decision to be like, I'm going to have my son's left eye removed, right? Like, it's crazy. But we went with the decision,
Yeah.
saved his life. Didn't even have to do chemo because of that decision, because we got it when we did. We come home. I have to push the launch back 10 days now to October 10th. And I remember sending the email. I was at my desk. My son was on
Yeah.
my lap. He's got a nucleated,
He's got a
bandage on his
patch.
eye. We still don't know if he's gonna need chemo or not. We don't know if it's spread to his brain or not. There's so many unanswered questions. I'm sitting here writing up the email. We've got a hurricane coming on top of us the next day. Massive hurricane. I forget which one it was. Whatever, if y'all Google whatever one was. You
Yeah.
don't have to. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
that
anybody
was
listening, if you're interesting, I think it might have been Irma. I don't remember.
we actually, one of our employees in Orlando, he had to board up, and it was a big
Yeah,
deal. Yeah.
it was a big one. And so I just strapped everything up. We're preparing for hurricane. Son, who's going through cancers, on my lap, and I'm writing an email to my members saying, "Hey guys, I'm going to delay the launch 10 days. There's a hurricane coming. Just need a little bit more time. It's coming." So the reason I tell that story is not a boo-hoo. Talon's incredible. Hasn't impacted him at all. Cancer-free for 3 years. He's all good. It's just, in the journey of entrepreneurship, there are going to be massive adversity, massive. I mean, in everyday life, but especially when you're trying to build something, it seems like it's almost like God is kind of challenging us. I'm not saying God challenged this and my son getting cancer or anything. I'm just saying entrepreneurship is hard. It is extremely hard. And before we get to where it becomes easier, we have to go through massive trials and tribulations to make sure we can make it through. And I feel like that's where those kind of seasons come in. And yeah, there was just like hit after hit after hit after hit after hit trying to build this thing. And each time it's like, we got to make through. It doesn't matter. We're carrying on no matter what occurs. Forward we go. And yeah, so long story short is that's the kind of startup story of MSP Camp.
I feel like that's a common element for everyone trying to start a business, though. Like you said, like, those tribulations and trials are actually, guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a, "Yeah, you might run into something hard." No. That's that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
That's absolutely part of it, where we're gonna have big things in our lives, whether it's medical, whether it's financial, spiritual, physical, there will be something that's going to challenge you to, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this. Maybe you should stop. It's going to be hard, right?
Yeah.
And we're given these challenging things in life, and I think you're right, where it's one of those things where God's like, all right, what are you going to choose?
Yeah.
Are you going to step up and lean into this, or are you going
Yeah.
to take an easier path and say, hey, Tom, didn't work out. I'll
Yeah.
I'll still do sales. I'll still, stay in this role, and
Yeah.
I'm okay not owning a business, right?
100%. Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's not bad. That's not wrong. That's
Yeah.
that's
No.
still a great option.
100%.
But it's, you know, what are you going to lean into?
Yeah.
And that is a pivotal moment when those challenges come.
Yeah.
Either choice is, and I think we like to label um a lot of things as good or bad.
Mm.
And and they're neither good nor bad, they just are,
Yeah.
right? And it's, what are you going to choose? Because your choice at this fork in the road right now is going to determine the rest of your life. Uh Either path is good.
Yeah.
Either
Yeah.
path is acceptable, right?
Yeah.
And God can make good of either path. What one
Yeah.
do you want?
Yeah. Now I used to pray like when something was coming up, I used to pray like, hey, I pray for this thing. I used to always pray for the thing itself. And so many times in my life, I realized I didn't get the thing I wanted that took me on a path that ended up being much better. The classic story.
Sure. Yeah.
And so now I don't pray for the specific thing unless it's like health for my family, things like that. If it's like an opportunity or whatever, I'll pray. If I just pray, let it happen if it's right. Like, if this is the path I should go on, that's what I'm praying for. And if it
Yeah.
doesn't happen, there's 0 disappointment. I'm not just saying that as a conversation piece. 0 disappointment when something doesn't happen that I wanted to happen,
Yeah.
because I know that perfect. I already prayed about it. Like, if that did not occur, that's not the path I'm supposed to go on. Like, and it
Yeah.
just 0 disappointment, I'm good.
Yeah, I love that. Just full faith in
Yeah.
the creator's plan.
Yeah. Like, so many times. It's like, all right, man, I'm glad that thing did not work out like I was hoping it did.
Dodged a bullet there.
Yeah. Quite a few.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So business is going well.
Mhm.
We just had ScaleCon. I've got my workbook right here.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you,
You got your workbook right there.
this
That makes me so
dude,
happy, bro.
this
Makes
workbook,
me so
and
happy.
I was
Yes.
taking notes, man. Like, it's,
Yes. Oh,
yeah,
that's
dude,
awesome.
it was quite the conference. I've gone to a lot of these. Um, and I might be getting a little bit jaded to some of them, honestly. That it's like, all right, I'm gonna turn on my note taker and I'm gonna jet, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, I'll tell you what, we were in New Orleans. There was a group that they were leaving, and they were gonna go just earlier in the day, take off. I had an opportunity to go hang out with them, and I wanted to go, and I've never been there, but I didn't feel that I could leave.
Good.
I didn't f I wanted to, Taher, I wanted to leave your conference early because I wanted to go play. Um, but the content was so helpful and rich. I I didn't feel like I could.
Nice,
Um,
man. Dude,
and
that's the
so
greatest thing I could
tell
possibly hear.
I mean, ScaleCon isn't, uh it isn't like this long, standing conference. This was number 2, right?
Yeah.
This
Year
was
2.
only year 2.
Yeah.
So, how in the world did you create a conference that was so successful and so rich in just 2 years? Like, how did you pull that off?
Well, man, one, I really appreciate you saying all that. But yeah, I think a lot of the conferences in the MSP space, I'm hearing what you're saying, and I agree. It's like a lot of people are like, man, there's a lot of fluff in the conference. There's a lot of vendor pitches in the conference. And I think because the podcast was going so well and people just were really happy with it and we're like, this is gold. No one's ever just given us the facts. They're always trying to sell us stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to create a conference that has the exact same format as the podcast. Like, I'm just getting people that I know are smart to come and teach, and there's no pitching. And so I think the vision around it is kind of why it was somewhat successful. So yeah, we've grown almost 80% from year one to year two, and year three we're trying to get to 1,000 people. So, and this year was
So there
400.
is a year 3.
Yeah, there is. So after because of people like you that are like, dude, this is we heard so many people saying they loved it. I'm like, okay, we have responsibility to keep going.
All
And I
right,
think
and so tell us about Nigel,
yeah.
and how the 2 of you came together then.
So Nigel's actually a competitor of mine. He has a very competitive product to MSP Camp. But him as a person and a leader in the product he has, I'm obsessed with and I love him and I love his product. So it's like we've never thought of ourselves as competitors and I still don't. I'm just saying if you look at it objectively, like, oh, you guys are competitors, but we've never thought of it that way. So long story short is when I first launched MSP Camp, I pitched him to get like a perk to his members because I know he's got 4,000 members. I'm like, hey, we've got this
Yeah.
content thing. And then he reached out. We ended up jumping on a call. Fast forward a year, he invites me to a conference, May of 2024, so literally last year. And it's called Magnetic Marketing with Dan Kennedy and Russell Brunson. Russell Brunson's one of my marketing heroes. And
Everybody
so,
loves Russell Brunson.
absolute legend. He's also into jujitsu, which I like, obviously. Um, so, so anyway, we go to this conference. I flew out to meet him in person for the first time. We go to this conference and I loved the conference. I got so much value out of it. Didn't think anything of it. Nigel says he wants to do an event one day. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Get home. A week later, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, there's nothing at that conference I couldn't do. That's literally my thought. I was like, wait a minute. He had 400 people in that room. There's nothing I couldn't do. There's not anything I saw where I was like, oh, that was complicated. So I called Nigel and I was like, hey, man, I'm doing an event. I'm going to do it. You in or not? And fortunately, he was in. Took some It took some of my sale that's why sales is one of the greatest skills of all time because it did take some selling, you know?
Yeah, that
Um,
negotiation of
yeah, yeah,
here's
but then
here's the value for your participation here.
exactly. And so he was on board, and ScaleCon couldn't be what it is today without Nigel because he was especially well, actually both years, he was kinda like the financial backing of it, right? I mean, obviously, I've got a lot of financial skin in the game myself, but with how expensive these events are, it's good to minimize risk. And he's really obsessed with quality and, like, attention to detail. So he really brought in a lot of the polish of the event, whereas I got to focus on, 1, I manage the team that puts on ScaleCon. That's obviously a lot of work. And 2, I'm about 90% around the agendas, the people that actually come on stage. To me, that's very important. I'm like, I already know
Yeah,
the format works. I got the agenda, but then a lot of the polish, making sure everything's smooth and the money or more of the money is Nigel. So like literally we are a perfect fit because
yeah,
he cares about the details in a way I don't. I care about the agenda, but he cares a lot too. But I care about the format of the agenda, and he gave me reins over that. So I just think it was like a really good pairing. You know, a lot of people have like horror stories of partners. It's like, oh, I want to build it all myself and I'll take all the risk. It's like, I don't know, man. When you find the right people, like you guys at SimTech, like when you find the right partners, it's amazing how much more you can get done.
absolutely. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Thanks, man. So we're
And
hopefully we get to 1,000 next year.
the gonna bring this back here, but just the quality of those who went on stage and their true life experience in what they were speaking on, it was fantastic.
Thank you,
It was
man.
fantastic.
Super fun. A lot of work for sure. I never realized how much work and money comes into putting on one of these things. But again, if we're going to make it sustainable next year, we're just going to hire some additional help, make the branding more uniform so we don't have to theme every year. You know, just kind of start
Yeah,
focusing more on sustainability. The first 2 years, I don't care that it wasn't sustainable. I just wanted to make sure it got all the love and attention needed. Year 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's got to be both the same experience, but in a more sustainable way. So that's kind of where we're shifting now
yeah.
is how do we scale this sustainably without me trying like just going crazy for about a month and a half. My team going crazy for about 4 months.
Well, your team did amazing.
Thanks, man.
So MSP Camp, you're
Mhm.
growing, you're getting more members, especially with the largest competitor and that acquisition that has turned a lot of people off, right? That's why
Yeah,
we left that situation was that there were a lot of things that we kind of plateaued and it wasn't the same level of quality that it had been in the beginning, right? So
yeah,
as we're leaving that, I'm sure there's a lot of other MSPs similar to us,
yeah.
and MSP Camp is a great place to land, right?
Thanks,
So,
man.
so what's next for MSP Camp, for ScaleCon, for you?
Mhm.
Looking forward, where are you going?
Well, we think about that a lot. It's amazing how much of our jobs as leaders is just to paint the picture of where we're going. I mean, that's what I spend most of my day doing is just making sure everybody's working in the direction we want to go. Um, so there's technically three aspects to the business right now. There's the content side, which is basically a membership portal where we're constantly creating new custom content that MSPs from all around the world get to use as templates for their business. So that
Hmm.
side is its own. That's where the peer groups come in. That's where the content comes in. It's very self-serve, obviously much less expensive. There's the agency side, which has a completely separate team now, but it's great because the content feeds the agency, the campaigns the agency clients are going to run. And in addition, if agencies need design, it's this really nice connected dots. There's two separate teams. They're really connected because content that feeds the distribution. And then ScaleCon's kind of the third entity. They're all on the up and up. And I'm just very grateful for that. And so what I'm trying to do as much as possible as the leader is segmenting those teams so that they're not draining resources from each other and bogging each other down. Like ScaleCon bogged down both the agency because Genesis and the content because of Steven. Those are both the leaders of these two buckets. And so it's like, okay, third tier is now going to be an annual thing. I gotta make sure I have a really good leader there to not make sure that nothing's bogging any of the two down. They're all up. And I could
Yeah,
just be at the top showing them where we're going. So yeah, the goal in the kind of midterm is I would like to get to 10 million in 5 years. That's kind of my revenue goals with 1.5 million at EBITDA. That's kind of where I want to be as all three entities together. And that's kind of our growth goals overall. I also I know this is a weird thing, but I do want to have I like having a really cool office. Like our office is like we got murals, we got bean bags, everyone's got their shoes off, Gen Z, like it's a great place to come into work. Like I love coming into work because the vibe of the office is so positive.
yeah,
People are just
it's
down to
comfortable.
get it. It's comfortable. People grab their laptop, they grind on those beanbags for like 8 hours straight. And I see how much is getting done. Like, I feel like if you create an environment that is not only comfortable, but it's like high achieving humans all in a really cool vibe in downtown Lakeland, it's just, man. So, my next step, and I'm hoping this happens in the next 3 months, we're going to get a much larger office in downtown Lakeland where we can put a gym in there, the ping pong
Hmm.
tables. Everyone paints their own office, like the true Gen Z type vibe. I'm a millennial, but like I'm like, hey, if y'all like this stuff, I mean, I like it too. Like, let's do it. I want work to be a place that people are happy to come to. Because I don't really do a lot of remote work. I allow some remote flexibility, but I do want people here. We're
Yeah,
a creative company. I need you guys here. I want to grab you when I want to grab. I pay you a lot of money, but I'm going to grab you when I want to grab you, and like let's brainstorm on this campaign. Let's brainstorm on how we get over that hurdle with this client, whatever it
there,
might be.
there's definitely something to be said of that close proximity and physically being together instead of just virtually, right? And when you're physically together and you can share that creative energy, um, it goes a whole lot better than just yeah, yeah, I'm on this meeting, but really on my third screen, I'm very distracted, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And we're a creative company. There just nothing beats, and trust me, I've tried it all. Nothing beats three people in a room bouncing the ideas off each other. One of our core values is water the idea. We don't say no here. We say and. So if someone has an idea that we're like not digging or we don't understand, it's like, okay, and like keep it going. Because some of our best campaigns, the ones that have crushed, have come from an idea that sounded really dumb. Uh, but then once you say and enough times and you really get the whole team on board, it's like, oh no, I see what you were
Okay.
I
Yeah.
see it now. That just requires sitting on some big bad chairs. No, I'm just kidding.
You know,
It
it,
doesn't
it is interesting though how quickly we make these judgment calls of no, that sucks. Or
yeah,
genius, when really it wasn't that great. It just hit right at that moment. But
yeah,
but I love that. And let's keep going, let's keep digging. I
yeah.
I like that. We might start using that for Simtech.
Yeah, that's great. And then, yeah, like you said on the good ideas too. Sometimes someone says a really good idea, but when you say and enough times, it's not thought through enough. Where it's like, oh, that would break our current process. Like that sounds nice, but that's not sustainable. Like some people have
Yeah.
really great ideas, but it's like, yeah, but how do we implement that sustainably? Is the value high enough and sustainability low enough, or efficient enough that we could do it?
Yeah.
We can't add a little bit of value for a lot more work. And
Right.
those ideas are pitched more than almost any ideas, where it's like there's like a little value add. It's like, yeah, there's a little value there, but the
But it's
amount of
so great. It's so
I
amazing.
and I'm like, I don't know when you think about it.
I like it, but there's no dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
oh,
So,
that's pretty great. So you've got a great vision, great atmosphere. How do you know when to hire the next person?
well, man, I struggle with that more than almost anything. Um, I'm an over hirer.
Okay. And
So that yeah, like I unfortunately just get excited about a new thing I want to add in. And I'm not the kind of person where I add it onto somebody's shoulders because I already kind of keep people at bandwidth. So I know it's like if I want to start doing this, I want to hire. So like
mhm,
right now, literally before this call, I'm creating a job description for a membership engagement manager. Because I'm like, man, we got 500 members. Yeah, they show up to the fireside chats, they're engaged, they use the content, but I want someone that can like, let's jump on calls, let me upsell you the leader, let me like make
yeah,
sure you know how to use the product, like all
like
that.
an account manager, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I have 2 account managers on the agency side, but exactly account manager for the content side. Like, are
Mhm.
people using the content enough? Are they getting enough value? Can I get feedback from them? Exactly right. And so yeah, I don't think I'm good at giving advice on that because I will sacrifice profit all day long to have people to implement where I want to go. Like we're profitable, uh, and we're very profitable right now, which is why I'm ready to hire like 2 more people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't take any advice on me on hiring. I overhire and then,
So instead of pocketing those profits, you're looking to reinvest into the company.
oh, yeah, I'm definitely in that mode, like, very hard. Yeah. But it's not even reinvesting back into growth like I should be doing, right? Because 'Cause we're growing either way. But I'm like, "Man, if I invested more into marketing, we could grow faster," but it's more like, I don't know if I wanna grow faster yet until I get these other pieces to the pie, it's
See,
like this.
but that's the whole thing about entrepreneurship is
Yeah,
until you have that process down where my clients, my attrition rate is so low, no one
yeah,
wants to leave. Until you get to that point, like that massive growth is going to cause a whole lot of issues, right?
exactly.
But once you can create that sustainability of no, people come and they stay, they don't leave because the experience is so incredible, right? Then yes, we can grow the growth side. But I agree with you that we've got to focus on increasing that experience for our current clients. And we actually just had a circumstance where somebody called in, they needed help right away. um we had 3 technicians in the area, but all 3 were completely wrapped up with
Mm,
current clients, and we weren't able to go help this potential client until the following day, which
Mhm.
in our space you can't do that. You have to get on it right now. But we physically didn't have people to go there because these three techs were wrapped up with current clients. And so it actually came back to our management meeting, and it was all of our managers, they were discussing, you know, what do we do in these situations? Do we just tell our current clients, hey, uh, something else came up, we got to go? And it was a resounding no. You take care of your clients first.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. We are not willing to sacrifice the quality of those who have given us their trust to take care of them
Yeah.
to go chase something new. Um,
100%.
the new will come when those that have given you their trust, when they feel taken care of, and they know
Oh,
you've got their back,
yeah.
the growth will come. The new will come.
Exactly. What a great specific example of a values challenge at a business that you guys have overcome beautifully. Tough decision because especially it's not easy. Like you mentioned earlier in the podcast, it is not easy to get a new managed services client. It's not. And so to give up an opportunity with that from a client who you know is going to stay with you, whether you go get that new client or not, they're going to stay. They might be a little
Right.
annoyed, but they're going to stay. But you're still like, no, it doesn't matter. The values of SimTech is we're going to help them. We'll get to the prospect who can then join the party
Yeah.
when they can. That's awesome,
Yeah.
dude. What a great example.
Yeah. Oh, that's business is a fun thing, trying to find that balance of
Yeah,
new dollars versus, you know, making sure that the current clients are taken care of and they know they're supported,
yep, 100%.
right? Well, we're excited to work with MSP Camp,
Dude,
uh,
I'm excited.
and
I'm
and
so excited.
and I think you were talking. You've mentioned values a handful of times,
Huh.
and one thing for us is we're going through that dating stage, right? Of
Yeah,
with a potential client, because that it really is so similar.
yeah, it is.
um, we bring up our values and we say, hey, look,
Yeah,
every client, almost every client that we've stepped away from, or they've stepped away from us, as we've regrouped and said, okay, what happened, what broke down here, it really comes back to common values.
yeah,
And is there complete alignment in our core values or no? And what we found is when there's not complete value alignment, there will be a separation in that relationship down the road.
yeah,
It's not a if, but when.
yeah,
And so that's one thing that we tried to hyper focus on is as we are talking to our potential clients is what's our value alignment?
yeah,
Do we have full value alignment? Because if not, then maybe this isn't the right fit. And if it's
yeah,
not the right fit, we're very happy to help you evaluate other options to make sure that you have the right fit for you. But maybe it's not us. And
yeah.
that is hard to do because it again, it is tough to bring on new clients in this industry, but to turn down dollars when you're in growth mode, it
I got I got another really good example on why values are so important to me and why people think core values is like a fluffy thing, but man, if done right, core values are one of the most important aspects of a
yeah,
business. And ScaleCon doesn't even have written down values, right? But ScaleCon lost 120 grand this year. Now I say lost, but it's kind of invested. Like we've actually added about $6,000 a month of recurring revenue. We didn't sell at the event at all. I think it's just having 400 people in a room. They're like, oh, who's MSP Camp? You know,
yeah, yeah,
but that's not the point of the event at all. We don't pitch on stage. There will be no pitching. Like that's not the point. But overall, it lost 120 grand. At one point, we had a sponsor come to us that offered us $30,000 even when we knew we were going to be losing a lot of money. And losing that kind of money as a small business,
yeah,
it's never easy. They offered $30,000 and they understood that there's no pitching on stage. They weren't going to get a speaking spot, but their demands from the event included like they wanted additional roundtables. They wanted to have a follow up email after the event. They just wanted things that were like, no, no, no. That goes against the no pitching. That goes
yeah,
against the preference to one sponsor. Like that goes against the values that we've set at ScaleCon. And so I not only did I decline them, I said they're not allowed to come back to ScaleCon. Because it was a kind of back and forth, right? Like they kept
Yeah.
pushing on. I was like, no, we clearly have a values misalignment here that you're not understanding. And so now I just know we can't work together. And that, as a small business that's about to lose a bunch of money on an event that we love, it's hard to say no to $30,000. But that's when values mean the most, when it's a hard
Hmm.
decision. Like when it's an actual
Yeah.
challenge to uphold the values is when is it actually a value?
That
So
that
not
just
to like
brings.
pat ourselves on the back, but it's like you gave a really good example. Like I wanted to,
Yeah. Yeah, I
link
love
too.
that. And it's the word that comes to my mind is sacrifice,
Yeah.
right? You're making a true sacrifice to uphold your values.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
when you have those moments where that shows where your character is. Your character resides in the sacrifice to uphold your values.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy to say customer first. It's not easy to turn down net new business because you put a customer first, right? Like that's when the value means something. So that's good
Absolutely.
stuff.
Absolutely. Taher, this has been great just chatting with
Yeah.
you and
Good to
going
see
through
you,
your
man.
journey. Always good to see you. Any big moments that you're like, if I would have known this, I could have saved X amount of time in the learning process. What's your what's your top jujitsu tip?
I can give you that all day. In a weird way, I do move fast. Like I'm just a kind of guy that I don't overthink it. I do try and think about all the variables, which is why I stare at my ceiling at nights. But I don't like if I make a decision, I make a decision. And if that includes hiring people, that includes firing people, that includes initiatives like the agency that we started in May of 2024, it just mean like when I make a decision, I move fast. I'm not the
Mhm.
kind of person like, yeah, in a few months. Like me and Tom are exact opposites in that way. And so it's more of if I would give the listeners advice, because many of them are probably business owners, entrepreneurs, or trying to be, it's like, don't delay too much on that action or you're going to have these regrets that you're going to be able to answer the question you just asked a ton of times. And fortunately for me, it's like when I felt something that just didn't feel right, I pulled the plug. If I feel an employee is just not going to match the culture, they're not high achieving or the culture's pushing them out, I pull the plug. It's an extremely difficult thing to do. It's never easy, which is why people sometimes take too long to make decisions like that. If I'm going to hit my growth goals and I'm going to get to $5 million in 3 years and $10 million in 5 years, well, then I have to market the business and I have to grow and hit certain KPIs. And I'm going to move fast to do that. I'm not going to put a big goal out there and then just hope.
Mhm.
I'm gonna take massive and fast action to get to the goals I laid out. And so I would say, just like for those looking and or struggling or trying to do their own thing, it's like don't let paralysis by analysis ruin your business or ruin your idea. Like make the mistakes, make them fast, pivot quickly, and you're gonna find success. It's like we talked about at the
Yeah.
beginning of the podcast. Like I love that you said that. It's a guarantee. Oh, sorry. It's a guarantee. That's it. Like I'm using. That's how I'm using my God feeling. Um, it's a guarantee. Sorry, it's a guarantee. Maybe Courtney can bleep that out. It's a guarantee you're gonna hit massive challenges every step of the
Yeah.
way. Like it's gonna
Yeah.
happen either way. So like, let's go ahead and get it over with. Let's keep moving, and you'll find success for sure.
I love that. And what I'm hearing there is your brain gets in the way sometimes where you're overanalyzing something, but your heart really knows.
Yeah,
And you don't know how you know, but you do know and you feel it
yeah,
deeply. But then your
totally.
brain gets in the way. And so if we can get the brain out of the way and just follow what our heart is telling us, our heart already knows what's the good decision, the accurate decision to find that progress. But
Yeah,
yeah, our brain, that the fear of failure and everything else, our brain will justify why we shouldn't do what our heart knows that we should do.
100%. And it's like, why do we trust it? Why do we trust our brain? Our brain's the same. It's the same guy that says the same thing that says stay in bed when the alarm goes off. It's the same thing that says
Right.
don't put your running shoes on before you got to go run. It's the same thing that says no, let's not get that other set in. Like
Yeah.
it's constantly trying to trick us into not doing the things we got to do. So, dude, that's such a great way to put it. Like, listen to your heart. I've only been a business owner now. I'm coming up my 3 year, and my intuition, like, I feel it. It's like you said, I feel
Yeah.
it. It's probably coming from the heart. You're like, I feel like this is the right direction. Like, I'm looking at this big office right now. Big off. I mean, it's not huge, but like it's 4 times the size of this.
Mhm.
And my brain is saying, don't do it. Oh, the risk. What about the economy? What about recession? Like, you sure you need this big office? The one you have now is fine. But I'm like, and it's been 2 weeks. They're about, so the emotion has been able to wear off. And I know inside here, that's the right move. Like, I know it. I feel it. So shut
Yeah.
up. I'm not going to listen to
Yeah.
you. I'm
Yep.
going to go. And hey, if everything goes crazy, I know I'm going to be able to work my way out of it. So like,
So, and that's the thing. What if everything goes crazy? And
let's
then
go.
what? And then
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Well, then everything went crazy. Okay.
Yeah. More
Perfect.
fun. Yeah, perfect. Ready?
Oh,
I read that book. It's such a good one. It's like ready, fire, and then aim. Ready, fire, aim. Like, just let's go. It's such a good book. Um, so yeah, that's so I love that you said that. I couldn't agree more.
yeah. Well, Taher, it really has been a pleasure. And yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to uh yeah, spend this time with us and tell us your story and give us these golden nuggets that we can take back and apply for our own growth. And yeah, we
I loved it,
yeah,
man.
and I just to close, I just want to say thanks again for turning into Between Milestones. And we really try and provide solutions that make work easier, businesses stronger, and lives better. That's why we all come to work is to provide that value um, and connection uh, to those in our sphere of influence, right? So until next time, Taher, keep building what matters.
You too, man. I love watching it. Glad we get to build together.